Welcome to Space Matrix, where we break down the headlines shaping our world and help you understand the forces behind the news. Today, we're unpacking a major shift in global trade. Russia has officially stopped accepting Indian rupees for its oil exports, a decision that's sending ripples through international markets. This isn't just a minor tweak in policy, it's a bold move with significant consequences for both India and Russia, as well as the broader global economy. The world is watching closely. For over a year, India had been purchasing Russian oil using rupees, cleverly sidestepping Western sanctions and saving billions in precious US dollars. This arrangement allowed both countries to keep their energy trade flowing, even as global tensions rose. But now, Russia finds itself holding more than $40 billion worth of rupees, money that's essentially trapped, since the rupee isn't widely accepted or easily converted outside India's borders. This has created a financial bottleneck for Moscow. Russian officials have compared this situation to having a gift card you can't spend anywhere else. Valuable on paper, but useless in practice if you can't use it where you need to. The result? Indian refiners are now required to pay for Russian oil in alternative currencies like the Chinese Yuan or the UAE dirham, effectively bringing the rupee for oil era to a close and forcing a major adjustment in how these countries do business. For Moscow, this marks a pragmatic shift, prioritizing economic reality and financial flexibility over the symbolism of political friendship. Russia is adapting to ensure its oil revenues remain accessible and useful. The rupee's limited global reach has forced Russia to rethink and recalibrate its entire trade relationship with India, highlighting the challenges of relying on non-convertible currencies in international trade. The era of easy rupee payments is now over, and both countries are under pressure to adapt quickly, renegotiating deals and finding new ways to keep their vital energy partnership alive. As a result, the global energy and finance landscape has just become even more complex, with new challenges and opportunities emerging for countries and companies worldwide. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into what this means for the future of de-dollarization, the shifting balance of global currencies, and the rise of new players in the world economy. The rupee oil trade was part of a much bigger dream: de-dollarization. For years, many nations have imagined a world where the US dollar isn't the only currency that matters in global trade. The idea was simple: if countries could use their own money to buy and sell vital goods like oil, they could reduce their dependence on the dollar and gain more control over their economies. Russia and China have long wanted to reduce the US dollar's dominance in global trade. Their leaders have spoken openly about building a new financial order, one where their own currencies play a much bigger role on the world stage. Trading in local currencies was supposed to create a multipolar financial world, immune to US sanctions and political pressure. The hope was that by bypassing the dollar, countries could shield themselves from sudden shocks and outside interference. But Russia's pivot away from the rupee is a reality check. For a currency to rival the dollar, it needs more than just ambition. It needs global trust, deep and liquid markets, and full convertibility, qualities the rupee simply doesn't have right now. Russia's billions in rupees were stuck, with few ways to spend or convert them. The rupee isn't widely accepted outside India, making it difficult for Russia to use those funds for anything meaningful on the global stage. Bilateral trade in local currencies only works if trade is balanced or the currency is widely usable. When one side exports much more than it imports, the surplus currency piles up with nowhere to go. The Russia-India experiment shows that dethroning the dollar is far harder than it sounds. Agreements and political will alone aren't enough. Economic fundamentals like trust and liquidity matter most in the real world. Trust, stability, and usability are built over decades, not declared overnight. The dollar's dominance is the result of years of reliability and global acceptance, not just policy decisions. When forced to choose, nations pick what works financially. For Russia, that means moving beyond the rupee and seeking alternatives that offer more flexibility and global reach. The de-dollarization journey just hit a major speed bump. The dream is still alive, but the road ahead is far more complicated than many had hoped. For India, Russia's decision is a headache. Indian refiners had enjoyed paying for oil in rupees, saving dollars and simplifying trade. Now, they're being pushed to use the Chinese yuan, a tough pill, given India's rivalry with China. Every oil payment in yuan boosts China's currency and influence, something India would rather avoid. The alternative, the UAE dirham, is less controversial but not as scalable. Switching to yuan adds complexity, costs, and new risks for Indian companies. India faces a tough choice: help a rival's currency or pay more for energy. the rupee's lack of global appeal is now painfully clear. Without major reforms, India remains at the mercy of stronger currencies. Russia's move to embrace the yuan is a significant win for China and its currency. This shift is more than just a financial transaction. It's a strategic victory that strengthens China's position on the world stage. For years, Beijing has worked tirelessly to elevate the yuan, aiming to transform it from a regional currency into a true global rival to the US dollar. This ambition has driven a series of reforms and international partnerships. Now, Russian oil sales to India conducted in yuan mark a major milestone in that campaign. These deals are not just about oil, they're about rewriting the rules of global trade and finance. Each transaction completed in yuan increases its global use and liquidity, making it more attractive for other countries and companies to adopt. To support this goal, China has built its own payment systems, like CIPS, and signed dozens of currency swap deals with countries around the world, making it easier to settle trade in yuan. Western sanctions on Russia have given China the perfect opening to expand the yuan's reach. With Russia cut off from the dollar, the yuan has become a vital alternative. The yuan is now a financial lifeline for Russia, and increasingly, it's becoming a key player in global energy trade, especially as more countries look for alternatives to the dollar. A more internationalized yuan not only shields China from US financial pressure, but also reduces transaction costs for Chinese companies, making cross-border business smoother and more efficient. As more global trade shifts to the yuan, China's influence over international finance grows, giving it a stronger voice in setting the rules of the game. The petro-yuan is now emerging as a real rival to the petrodollar, challenging the decades-long dominance of the US currency in energy markets. Russia's decision to favor the yuan signals a new era, with the Chinese currency leaving other aspiring contenders like the rupee and ruble behind in the race for global relevance. The global currency game just got a new heavyweight contender, and the world is watching to see how far the yuan can go. The India-Russia partnership has always been strong, especially in defense and energy, forming the backbone of their strategic ties for decades. But Russia's recent demand for yuan payments strains this bond, making India question Moscow's true priorities and long-term intentions. After supporting Russia through tough times, India now feels sidelined, forced to use a rival's currency, which complicates their economic relationship. This dispute could spill over into defense deals, with Russia less likely to accept rupees for military hardware, potentially impacting future cooperation. The friendship will survive, but trust and convenience in trade have clearly taken a hit, leaving both sides wary. Global markets are watching this shift closely. The yuan's value ticked up as traders anticipated more demand for it in oil deals. The petrodollar system isn't collapsing, but the petro-yuan is gaining ground. Oil prices may soon be quoted in different currencies, adding volatility and complexity. Middle Eastern producers are taking note. If the yuan works for Russia, others may follow. The dollar's dominance is being challenged, slowly but surely. Investors and companies must now hedge against more currencies, not just the dollar. The world is moving toward a more multipolar financial system. The global energy payment system is transforming before our eyes. Russia's rupee rejection is part of a bigger shift toward a multipolar currency world. The petrodollar now faces a real challenger in the petro-yuan. For India, this is a wake-up call. True currency power requires deep reforms, not just political deals. China's patient strategy is paying off, giving it new leverage in global finance. The Russia-India currency dispute is a snapshot of the new economic order emerging. The future will be more fragmented, with the dollar, yuan, and others sharing the stage. The era of easy, dollar-dominated trade is ending. Adaptation is now essential.